Well, hey, good morning, Facebook friends and family. It is a great joy and delight to be before you one more time as we are going to continue on this journey of these daily devotional messages dealing with forgiveness. The question of the day is what does or who needs forgiveness? The simple answer is you and me. Everybody needs to get forgiveness. I have titled this lesson, All Means All. Today, we're going to see that as it plays out in Scripture. There's many different ways and attributes. You'll talk to some; they'll tell you about how we inherited sin down from Abraham because of his sin. It is inherited. It's just like a gene or a trait. You know, some of those things that you do, just and it's just like your father, just like your mother. We have inherited sin, but then there's a whole nother sin that just has blanketed over the whole human race. Um, that is, there's another word I'm looking for. I don't want to get stuck on that, but just it's inclusive off in that sense. But you may look at those two different ways and be like, well, that don't seem right. That don't seem fair because that depends on what everybody else. But the Bible tells us right here in this verse that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Hold on, there's two things that all have done. First of all have sinned. Second of all have fallen short of the glory of God. This phrase, the glory of God, it really determines or dictate a standard that God has set before himself, a standard that God approves of. And what he is telling us in this Romans chapter 3 in this 23rd verse is that all, all have one sin, two, we have fallen short. When I think about that word sin, that we have all sinned, it literally means to miss the mark. It means that we did not hit things where they were supposed to be. And every time I think about that, I think about I have a cousin of mine. He plays darts so good. He plays in tournaments, and a lot of times they win. Me personally, I don't play darts that well. You can't get me to tell me I need to hit triple 20, and I don't know if I might hit it. But whenever I think about that, I might hit the bullseye if I'm lucky. But when we sin, it's literally meaning like there was a target that we were supposed to hit and we missed that mark. Hold on, with us missing that mark, it has shown us how, hold on, wait a minute. Because even when I done threw it and used all my might, that in this sense, it said, and have fallen short. um, just thinking about that I've fallen short, God has set the standard up here and I've fallen short of his standard. I know we like to look at everybody else. I always think about this funny thought. Well, it ain't funny, but it's serious. But it's kind of comedy when you really think about how we try to get off the hook. If we look at society, you'll see the drug dealers, they'll be talking about, well, at least I'm not robbing and stealing from my own folks. And the people that's robbing and stealing just to feed their addictions, they'll at least they say, well, at least I'm not polluting or bringing this stuff into my community. And everybody have so many different ways of how they could compare themselves to one another. And we'll look at each other and we'll see the others' imperfections, and regardless of our own imperfections, we will put ourselves on a different standard. Well, when we fall short of the glory of God, it is that he has set the ultimate standard and that we are the ones that continually fall short. And so when I start to think about that not only does this allow us to be able to know that sin is about missing the mark and that we have failed to hit the standard or meet up to the standard that God has set for us, we must take a look at this. And I want you to realize that you are a part of this all. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all is an inclusive statement. It includes everyone. It includes all people. It don't matter about your race, your ethnicity. It does not matter about your stature. It don't matter about your political affiliation. It don't matter about your education. It don't matter about your background. It don't matter if you've been raised in the church or you've been raised by heathens. This statement all is inclusive and it means even you. And when I think about that, it is all is without exception. There is no exception to the rule when it says all. There is no exception to the rule when it says all. And so when I think about how inclusive it is and how it is without exception, it also lets me know that it is exclusive. When I think about this in this sense, when I talk about inclusive, I'm looking at the whole thing, race, gender, what type of community you live in, all those different things. But it's so exclusive that it's especially for you. And so when I just think about these three terms, that all means that it's inclusive, all means that there is without exception, all means that it is exclusive, that it is just for you, that even you have missed the mark and have fallen short of the standard that God has called you to meet. If many of you know, I love telling a story. I'm already past the 5 minute mark. So just briefly, as you just want to consider this, here there's a child that was that was playing basketball, and he wanted to show his father that he could dunk the basketball. When the father came home from work, he rushed back there and he showed his father, and he ran down the court and he jumped up and he dunked the basketball. And the father, he gave him his praise, but he challenged him with something. He said, now what I want you to do is set the realm back up to the standard that I had it, and I want you to work hard at being able to accomplish that. Hold up, wait a minute. That means when I think about that we have to work at being able to get to the that we are not falling short of the glory of God. It's not that we work for our salvation, but because we are saved, we will still be working. And the very first thing that we must do is be moved from being a sinner to being a saint who sins less and less as we practice more and more on achieving the standard that God has set before us. I pray that this is beneficial and encouraging for you on this day. All means all, and all even includes you. May God bless you and may God keep you. That is my humble prayer for you on this day.